Now, a question that we oftentimes get asked is how to control blood sugar. So can you walk us through some actual tips? What would you teach a client who's like, look, my blood sugar is out of control. Like, I don't understand why. It's all over the place. I don't see any connection of what I'm doing. It just doesn't make sense. It's just how to control blood sugar. What would you say?
The first thing I usually will ask a client, I was like, okay, let's see what you're doing now. And they will, tell you, they'll spell it out to you what they're eating, what they're doing. And then when you actually look at what they're doing, Robby, their fat content in their diet is so high. And most of all, the saturated fat is so high in the diet. So after I laid it out for them and I said, okay, let's see what we need to remove to get our fat content down. And the first thing, number one, their diet is like 1 serving of fruit a day. 1, Robby. And usually it's like half a banana because they can't eat fruits because they have diabetes, type 2 and pre-diabetes, because they were told by most of their healthcare provider or even, and I'm telling you this, even dietitians, because I used to say it, and diabetes educators. And so I look at it and I said, well, furthermore, you don't have enough fruits in your diet. Oh, no. I said, okay. And I said, furthermore, okay, we got to get some fat out. So you need to get the dairy out. Oh, my goodness. I can take the milk out, but not the cheese. Why? So they fight you with the cheese. And then, I'll sometimes go back into different things. Then I said, okay, let's remove this. And sometimes I put it into like chromometer and I lay out their daily intake into chromometer. And then when you look at the fat content per meal, sometimes it's like 70 grams of fat and 80 grams, Robby. And I said, okay, let's work with breakfast first. And it might have 70 grams of fat. And I said, okay, let's see where we need to take the fat out. And they keep taking out until they end up with half a banana. And they're like, oh my goodness, all this stuff has to go. Yep. The bacon's got to go. The eggs got to go. And I literally let them see that for themselves and they start removing it for themselves. And they said, oh my goodness, this is a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet. I said, ding, ding, ding. Yes, that's it. That's what's going to help you. And then I teach them what insulin resistant is. And then I go from there. And then I start saying, okay, let's change one meal, and we go from there and move it. Just like we do in Master and Diabetes. You look at one meal. Stop looking at lunch and dinner. Get good at breakfast first. And then you move to lunch. And then you move to dinner. So that's basically how I do it. But I'm telling you, I would say this, Robby, in the African American culture, and I'm the first one to say, it's very difficult because there's a trust there. And that's why I'm here to say you can do it. I always say, Robby, if I do it, you can do it. Robby, one of the biggest thing in our culture, jerk chicken, fried chicken, at every function, they have to have jerk chicken. And I don't know if you ever see it or heard of it, but jerk chicken and fried chicken. If you don't have it there, it's not a function. And I say to myself, healthy feels good. All of that is not going to make you healthy. And doing this for the last 4 years almost, Robby, my health has improved. And I just want to just run out there and just tell everyone that if you've never tried this before, try it. Just try it and you'll see a big difference. It'll speak for itself. It'll speak for itself.
I love this. So when it comes to how to control blood sugar, your response is very simple and very clear, which is you have to first remove the excess dietary fat, which is coming mainly trans fat and saturated fat are the biggest culprits. We have to remove those. And then you also shared from your personal experience, even some of the quote unquote healthy fats coming from avocado and coconuts. That stuff has to be removed as well. So you're taking out the fat. And what you're doing with your example here of having people see what happens when it's removed from chronometer, then you realize, okay, wow, now I have to add in replacements. I have to replace those calories. I have to replace those foods. What am I going to add in? You're educating that it's going to be low-fat, plant-based whole foods. So that's going to be our green light category. It's going to be fruits, starchy vegetables, legumes, intact whole grains. That's where you're going to get your calories from, which also ties into what you were explaining earlier, which is that you don't feel like you have to snack all day. You're not hungry between meals because you do have the appropriate calorie density in your meals, because when you described your day, what you're eating, you described that you were eating those 4 key categories of our green light foods. You have to focus on those categories first. That is how you control your blood sugar. And this is very counterintuitive. It's very counterintuitive that in order to control your blood sugar, you would actually add in more carbohydrate-rich foods. But this really works in the context of reducing your fat simultaneously. So this is simultaneously happening. The fat's coming out, the whole carbohydrate-rich food, which include water, fiber, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, all of these important plant compounds. That combination is what is allowing people to really see true, genuine control. And then in the long term, you know, for pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, it really becomes an afterthought. You're not even thinking about how to control blood sugar. You're really just living your life.